What's up, everyone? It's Alexa from Grace and Cherish. Welcome back. It's a new day, and today I am gonna plant this mix right here. The reason I'm going with this one is because it goes up to, the plants go from about 6 inches to 48 inches tall, assuming that you don't pack them too densely. If you pack them too densely, of course, they will all be shorter because they're gonna be fighting for, it's gonna be harder for them to grow, because we're fighting for nutrients, sun, all of that. So I'm gonna try to not make it too dense because I do want the height, because we have this fountain that really I'm just covering. The soil, or just that area right there, is covered with dirt. Like there's a ton of rocks, and it's also mixed into the soil, and I started digging and it just goes. And plus there's also, we're pretty confident, electric, because it used to be a fountain. We don't know for sure because the previous owners are no longer living, and we never got to ask the kids who sold the house for their parents. But Brandon is pretty confident. We also have a light post right here too. So safe to assume there's something else going on, so we don't want to dig too deep. So I'm just, for this year, I'm just going to grow flowers that are tall and can kind of cover that area and be something pretty to look at. So I have the Southern Hills and Plains flower mix from Botanical Interests, and I love it. Botanical Interests is my first time using them. It's my first time using most things since I haven't really gardened before. But I really love, there's so much inside the packet, all along the lining. There's so much information that just makes it easier for you to plant in confidence. So that's what I am gonna do. I have some extra stuff that compost that I was gonna put down just to add a little bit more. I was actually watering with our pond water because it was really dry. It's been raining a ton, and then the last few days it hasn't, and you can tell based on how it looked when I came out here. So that is the task for today. Flowers, flowers, flowers. Let's go. Using the pond water is great. I always feel really good about it since when we bought the house, it was a fully stocked pond. We had to add some fish to it because of just some issues with carp, and so we got grass carp to help with that, and they did a wonderful job. And then we received a gift of 500 catfish for Gideon's birthday from some family. So we have catfish in there, though this is the year we'll find out whether or not they survived, because we haven't seen very many of them. A friend a new to us friend who comes and fishes on the property every so often. Actually, it's a cool story. He used to come with his granddaddy to fish here when he was 12 or so. I can't remember if I've shared this story before, but he used to come fish and, grew up, life, didn't come back as much. But when he moved back here, I think he was like in his 40s. I met him when I was leaving the property one day before we had officially moved on into the house. And he was like, "Is this for sale?" And I was like, "Actually, no, we just bought it." And anyway, he told us a story about him and his granddaddy, how they used to come and fish here, how they knew the previous owners. And so this place was it was a big part of his childhood and childhood memories. So it's been neat to have him come back, and his fiance and their kid. And but he has told us a lot about just some of the animals and things here. So I've appreciated that. But one thing, he said that he has seen catfish. So hopefully, that's what we're hoping. We're actually having a fishing event here with some friends from the homeschool group that we're in, and doing a kind of seed swap and stuff. We're gonna do that at the beginning of April, so we'll actually really fish. Brandon and Gideon have gone fishing, but they caught bass. They didn't catch any catfish. And I know they're bottom feeders, and we need to make sure we have the right lure, right bait for that, which I'm pretty sure Brandon bought. But anyway, all to say, we're hoping to see the catfish. And anyway, let me get back to finishing this out so I can get the seeds in, and then I'll move on to my next project. So one of the things I'm trying to do is break up the clumps. This could totally not work, I don't know, whatever. But the goal is experimentation and try. So I'm gonna get my trusty pitcher right here, because we don't have a hose hookup in our front right now. So the most I can do is go dip this in the pond and then pour it on here. So I'm gonna add some more water and break some more stuff up, and then finally put in the seeds. All right, the lesson that I think I just learned is that when people say scatter sand and your seeds, so you know where you scattered the seed, it just hit me after I just did that they're saying that so that as you're scattering them both, you can look and say, oh, I've seeded up to this point. That is probably a duh moment for many of you, but I clearly did not realize that. That is why we do things. Someone had to figure that out, right? Anyway, so for those of you who are like, wow, girl, what are you thinking? Apparently I wasn't. But for those of you who have not tried this yet before and want to learn from my mistake, it's all good though. I'm not too worried about it, especially right here and for what we're doing. It's not a huge deal. Everything is an experiment right now anyway, and it is good to learn and be humbled in that. All right, so we have some other things I'm going to be doing. We are very close to our last frost date. It's April 3rd for my area. I'm likely not going to plant right at that time. I thought I was, but I'm thinking I might not. I'm trying to figure out my plan. When I was looking at my garden planner and when it suggested that you start according to the Farmer's Almanac online, it was saying, you know, there were several plants I could be planting right now. And I'm just not sure if I'm going to. I might do some, but not fully. I'll see, but I am still wanting to start more seeds, and so we're actually looking at converting our one of our storage areas in our basement, and because it has a door and enough room for me to put a table out. So the table I'm using in our basement now, the issue is that it gets really cold, and we still have some pretty cold nights. Like in the next week, it'll get down to 31 at some point when I was looking at the 7-day forecast. And so what I want to do, since tomatoes and bell peppers are like two of our top priorities for things we want to grow, and they like warmth, what we want to do is convert that storage area, put tables in there, and then that way I can at least put a fan in or a heater in there and shut the door and then keep that room a little bit warmer than the rest of the basement. Because what I've been doing so far is I have a little thermometer to check the temperature of my seedlings, and I've been using heat mats still because I was like, I just don't want it to get too cold. The broccoli is probably fine because it's, you know, 60s-ish, but it was just tomatoes and bell peppers. So that's what I'm going to be doing. Today we're supposed to try to convert that room and move all our storage stuff out and put the tables in there so that I can have more room for the seeds and control the temperature. And then that would also give me more opportunity to start some more seeds because I'd have just more space to do so. So I'm excited to do that. Where are you at with your gardening? I have read the comments. I've read just about every comment I've seen on the different videos, and it's neat to hear from people who are in Florida to people who are in Wisconsin, and just the different, you know, some of you are like, I'm in Wisconsin. It is not gonna be, we can't plant yet. Like, we're not even close to being able to plant. And then other people in Florida, and I'm like, have you been planting this whole time? Like, it's just, anyway, it's fun as I'm learning about the different zones. But I would love to hear how you're doing at this stage, March 2024. How are you doing with your gardening? I'm gonna go, bless you. Remember that you matter. You're an important person, not more important than others, but definitely equally important. And so I pray that we can go and treat each other with love and dignity and respect, and know that you are great. So I'll talk to you soon. Until next time.